And we made it. I'm here. What in the world with Wilson? Every Thursday I get in here 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock I'm out the door. We got Stinky Arts Music Mart usually, but not today. Again, thank you for joining me. We had some technical difficulties, but we're moving and we're pushing through. So I apologize in advance for any sort of glitches we might face as we get through this, but I'm here, so let's get it. Thanks for joining me. What in the World with Wilson? Here on KRFF 95.9, RadioFreeFargo.org. What in the World with Wilson brings you unusual news stories that makes you go, what in the world? And I got some for you. Again, I apologize for any sort of wrinkles we might face as we go through this, but we're going to go through it. All right? What in the World with Wilson? I'm your host, Wilson, and we going to do it. I used to do all the drugs, but now I don't. And I show the man upstairs props every Sunday, 417 Main Avenue, Antioch Church, 10 a.m. recovery, 11 a.m. worship. All righty. And that is what it is. This show is brought to you by Black Cottage Alchemy. Black Cottage Alchemy on Facebook, 1,200 mgs of locally grown hemp wrapped up into a tub of fun butter for your outer body. Thank you, Black Cottage Alchemy, for sponsoring this show. Nonprofit Radio Free Fargo 95.9 is listener supported. Radio Free Fargo receives no government support nor grant monies presently, and traditional advertising is not an option for nonprofits. We do have underwriting, which is different. Radio Free Fargo believes in trying to present the widest spectrum of music. If you believe in community radio and would like to help, visit our website, www.radiofreefargo.org. Click on the donate button. As always, thank you for support. Please tell others about Radio Free Fargo. Learn about underwriting opportunities with nonprofit Radio Free Fargo, 95.9 FM, KRFF-LP. Increase public visibility and create a positive image. Underwriting may increase website traffic and possibly offer tax deductions. To learn more, please message us at our website, www.radiofreefargo.org. Again, What in the World with Wilson is going to limp along today, and I apologize in advance, but I'm going to be using my handy phone today. So there you go. All right, let's give you some stuff. This is from the New York Post. Mom unplugs baby's NICU monitor to get nurse's attention for a sandwich. That's right. A mom has sparked mass outrage over a shocking act involving her newborn in the NICU. The mother, identified as Allie Ray, is reportedly under investigations after she was caught unplugging her baby from hospital monitors while live streaming on TikTok. Of course, right? In the footage, Allie is seen tampering with the equipment monitoring her infant daughter, allegedly to get the nurse's attention when they weren't in the room. No, you're fine, she says to the nurse rushing in to the response to the alarm. It's not an emergency. I was just going to see if you could bring me a turkey sandwich. In a follow-up video, she claims, I was told if I needed something to unplug that, and that is what I'm going to do. Of course, there ain't no way in the world any nurse told her it was okay to do that. All right. So there we go. And here we have it here. 2 arrested for impersonating firefighters using illegitimate fire truck in Palisades fire area. So let's get into that. 2 people from Oregon were arrested for reportedly pretending to be firefighters and using a fake truck in the Palisades fire evacuation zone Sunday. They noticed a fire truck that did not appear to be legitimate. Now, I don't know what legitimizes a fire truck. Maybe a hose? Sheriff deputies then made contact with the individuals in the fire truck as they attempted to enter an evacuation zone. The individuals were both wearing turnout gear and California Fire T-shirts. They had helmets and radios. They were arrested for impersonating a firefighter and entering an evacuation zone. Apparently, Dustin has a criminal history in Oregon for criminal mischief and arson. Okay, well, there you have it. That sounds pretty crazy to me. You know? You won't believe what's legal in New Zealand when nobody's looking. Look, we all know that when nature calls, sometimes you just can't wait. But in New Zealand, answering that call comes with a pretty wild legal loophole that's causing quite the stink. In New Zealand, you can technically avoid a $200 fine for pooping in public if you can prove you had a reasonable explanation for believing nobody was watching. Let me say that again. In New Zealand, you can technically avoid a $200 fine for doing a poopy in public if you can prove you had a reasonable explanation for believing nobody was watching. But now this unique freedom is under scrutiny, and even the Prime Minister has been pulled into what might be the most awkward political debate ever. I don't know why we're debating about it, to be honest, but if you like... So here's what I'm thinking it is. If you use the bathroom and you're convinced you did it unbeknownst to anyone else, it's legal. So, all right. Let me see here what we got. Oh, this is going to be a good one. This is from Daily Atomic. Nigerian vigilantes claim they caught a criminal who transformed into a goat, and the police actually have it in custody. Man, last week we talked about a goat having a warrant placed for his arrest for eating plants. Now we got a goat they're convinced is a criminal. Okay, but this isn't your average case of livestock gone rogue. The goat is allegedly a car thief who used black magic to transform himself when cornered by local vigilantes. According to police spokesman Tundi Mohammed, it all started when a vigilante patrol group spotted some suspicious characters attempting to steal a Mazda 323. When the group approached, things got weird, like really weird. While one suspect managed to escape the old-fashioned way, by running, witnesses claim the other pulled a totally different escape move and turned into a goat. The police actually took the goat into custody. We're not kidding. The Vanguard newspaper even published a photo of the suspected car thief showing the goat casually chilling on its knees next to some straw in what might be the most unusual mugshot of all time. Now, spokesman Mohammed couldn't officially confirm whether a man had transformed into a goat. He did verify that, yes, they are indeed holding a goat at the station. Before you dismiss this as completely bonkers, it's worth noting that belief in witchcraft remains widespread in parts of Nigeria. Many communities across Africa's most populous nation rely heavily on vigilante groups. So I don't know. I have no idea. But I kind of think maybe there wasn't, that isn't actually a person. I could be wrong, and I'm sure that I am. But maybe that's how you get away with crimes, is you turn yourself into animals. So I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. All right. But anyway, you're listening to What in the World with Wilson. I'm kind of limping along today, and I know my daughter doesn't like to hear excuses. So I'm just going to say that once more. But anyway, you're listening to What in the World with Wilson. I'm Wilson. We talk about the craziest news stories that I've came up with this last week. And that's where we are right now. Okay. I am going to hit you with one more, and then we are going to take a musical break. And there it is. This is from Daily Atomic. This country's bald men are living in fear because witch doctors think their heads contain gold. In a disturbing series of events that unfolded in 2017, bald men in Mozambique faced an unprecedented threat, being targeted for their supposedly golden heads. Yeah, you read that right. Local witch doctors were spreading the belief that bald heads contained actual gold, leading to a horrifying wave of ritual killings. What started as a bizarre rumor quickly turned deadly in Mozambique's central Zambezia province. Police commander Afonso Diaz revealed that 5 men had been killed for their body parts, with 3 murders happening in a single week. But here's where it gets even more twisted. Authorities believe the whole golden bald head story was actually a scheme cooked up by witch doctors to convince clients to bring them human heads. When police arrested 2 suspects, the investigation uncovered an even darker truth. According to regional security, one victim had not only been decapitated, but also had his organs removed. The suspects revealed these body parts were for rituals and stuff to help people increase their wealth. If you're thinking this sounds like an isolated incident, I guess it isn't. These attacks have been documented across the East Africa, where body parts are used by witch doctors to create charms and potions. So, there you have it. Now, let's get into some music, shall we? Shall we do it? I say we should. And I plan on doing that right now. So here you go. Here's Groove in the Heart, 95.9.
We're going to dance. We're going to dance and have some fun.
Okay, Groove is in the Heart on KRFF 95.9, RadioFreeFargo.org. You're listening to What in the World with your boy Wilson. And I'm Wilson. Thank you for joining me. Programming on KRFF, LPFM Radio Free Fargo 95.9 is being underwritten by Flatland Guitar and Lutherie. Flatland Guitar is your full-service guitar shop and your exclusive dealer for Yamaha, Taylor, and Paul Reed Smith guitars and other brands. They sell guitars on consignment, they take trade-ins, and have a full-service on-site repair center. Check out Flatland Guitar and Lutherie on Facebook, or come by and visit them in person at their location at 1450 25th Street South in Fargo. All right. Well, let's talk about this then, shall we? Peeing is contagious for chimpanzees. That's right, I said it. A contagious urination might be similar to yawning in humans. That's right, popular science. Peeing is contagious for chimpanzees. For chimpanzees, the need to pee appears to be contagious. Okay. Well, there was a study published January 20 in the journal Current Biology finds that when one chimpanzee urinates, the others in a group are more likely to also urinate. The phenomenon is called contagious urination and could have deep evolutionary roots in humans. I don't know. I don't have it. In humans, urinating together can be seen as a social phenomenon. An Italian proverb states, whoever doesn't pee in company is either a thief or a spy. While in Japan, the act of urinating with others is referred to as shurshan. This behavior is represented in art across centuries and cultures and continues to appear in modern social context. Onishi and colleagues decided to study this behavior when they observed that the chimpanzees in the sanctuary appeared to pee at roughly the same time. They were curious to see if urination could be similar to contagious yawning seen in humans. In the study, they're documenting peeing behaviors in 20 chimps at the Kumamoto Sanctuary. In more than 600 hours, they saw 1,300 instances of urination. They then analyzed the observational data, what a fun job, to see if peeing was significantly synchronized over time and looked to see if urination was potentially influenced by individuals nearby or shaped by social factors. So they really looked at some stuff. They found that the urination events were significantly more synchronized than would be expected if the animals were simply peeing at random times. The likelihood of contagious urination also increased if a chimp was physically closer to the peer, the initial urinator. There could also be a tendency for the behavior to flow down the dominant structure. Individuals with lower ranks were also more likely to pee when others were peeing. Based on this, we initially expected that any social influences might resemble those seen in yawning, such as stronger contagion between socially close pairs. However, the results indicated that social closeness did not have any effect on this action. So what did we learn here today, folks? Peeing is contagious for chimpanzees. All right. This is TMZ here. Angry husband, and of course they got to have a witty quip. Dig this. Boss bashes wife's manager with shovel after she complains. Well, let's find out more. A fuming husband really dug himself into a hole after his wife vented about her boss. He decided the best handle on the situation was to whack the guy in the head with a shovel. Now, I'm not sure what all of his options are, but there had to be one better than that. That's all I'm saying. And that happened a couple days ago. It's all caught on camera. Man strolls into Mercado supermarket in Sinop, Brazil on Saturday, casually browsing the shovels. He picked his weapon of choice and then ambushes the unsuspecting manager from behind with a vicious strike. And you can Google it. It's right straight from behind. This wasn't exactly a spur-of-the-moment decision. The guy strolled around with a shovel for a while, waited for the manager to get distracted on the phone, and then struck, swinging hard directly at the victim's head, which I feel like might hurt a guy. The suspect really dug in deep He caused the manager immediately to drop to the floor while squad of store employees rugby tackled the suspect to the ground and waited for the police. The suspect's wife, who worked at the store, reportedly complained about this particular manager to her husband. The victim suffered injuries to his head and ear and sustained hearing loss. He was advised to file a statement at the station. And now police are investigating, which I think they probably should. I mean, people out there these days are buck wild. All right. What do we got? What do we got here? Here we got marriage ends after wife demands payment for basic interactions with her husband. Let's see. Like I said, Nigerian vigilantes claim they caught a criminal who transformed into a goat. That's something. That is interesting, isn't it? But anyway, you're listening to What in the World with Wilson. I'm doing my best today. This is from Flamingo, Weird, Florida. The wildest headlines from 2024. And apparently there's an HBO show called It's Florida Man. And I learned that the reason you hear so much crazy stuff out of Florida, because you just think they're buck wild over there, and it is a big state, so the bigger the state, the more likelihood of some weirdos out there doing weird stuff. But it's because public record in that particular state is available to everybody. Like, if something happens, it's like everybody has a scanner and all the press is allowed to print anything they feel like, which apparently other states restricts a lot of that, so you don't get to see all these crazy stories. You know, I would imagine like TMZ's kind of the cats that will find like a guy who shovel smacks a manager, and they might have some legal something, precedent that allows them to do that. Florida has been wild and wacky for a long time. For instance, one story dealt with how a self-proclaimed witch and her husband, a Broward County Sheriff's lieutenant, wound up in a dispute with a group of professional mermaids who perform shows at the historic Wreck Bar. Pagans, witches were all normal people, the lieutenant told the show. There is no craziness per se to it. If nothing, I don't understand it, but unfortunately, let's see, what do we got here? You never know when you'll open your paper in the morning and find a headline like Miami-Dade police respond to a man dressed as a clown and holding a mallet on Palmetto. Unfortunately, by the time the police arrived at the pedestrian bridge, the clown was nowhere to be found. Perhaps he or she had returned to the sewer like the clown in It. As usual, there was little evidence in this year's news of criminal masterminds. One Suwannee County man called the cops because he'd gone for a hike and gotten lost. When they rescued him, they escorted him to jail because he had a warrant. Remember, kids, when you go for a hike, be sure to take a map and a bail bondsman. We got a car burglar in Miami Beach. He broke into a Corvette, and then he couldn't get out of it. So when the owner showed up, the burglar was like, "Bruh, can you help out, bro?" They're like, "We're going to call the cops." Florida cops didn't always display their smarts either. A Fort Walton Beach police officer who heard a falling acorn hit his cruiser, which was parked behind him. He believed he was under some sort of attack, jihadi squirrels was under some sort of attack. He began shooting at his own car. A second officer joined in. They just blasted their ride, bruh. Because of an acorn? Together they fired 22 shots, yet somehow missed the unarmed prisoner, freaking out in the back. So, of course, they had to add that not only are they just peppering the snot out of this vehicle, there was a prisoner in the vehicle. Some Floridians displayed a remarkable ingenuity in committing unusual crimes. Now, this is all from this last year, 2024. Apparently, the man from Altamont Springs, he was unhappy to see Seminole County put solar-powered license plate readers all over in order to track potential miscreants. His fought back against this invasion of privacy. He used a drill to remove the top off 20 of the readers, then tossed the parts into bushes. Of course, one of the readers captured the image of his license plate. Oh, boy. Anyway, let's keep reading through here. There's some sports car owner stories. Plenty of Floridians get in trouble for what they took off, not what they added on. So let's see. My favorite was the Pensacola woman who showed up unclothed for a neighbor's birthday party. She was just celebrating by wearing her birthday suit. At the other extreme was the Jacksonville man who went for a joyride in a stolen $100,000 boat while wearing nothing but his undies. The joy ended when he crashed. One disapproving sailor said it was very clear he had little boating knowledge because you would wear pants if you knew how to, boat a boat. I don't, because I don't know how to use the right words. Boat a boat. Okay. What else we got here? Some of the wildest tales show up via non-traditional news sources. For instance, there was a St. Petersburg house listed for sale on Zillow with a photo that showed it had been on fire. In fact, the house was still smoking. The $259,000 listing said it would be sold as is, and the agent wrote, for safety reasons, entry to the property is not permitted. It was on fire. Oh, man. That's crazy. Now, speaking of food, Floridians display their usual flair for creativity with the use of food and other unlikely implements as weapons. This year, we weaponized ravioli, a tomato, a burrito, fried chicken, coconut, somebody forcefully thrown cheeseburger, macaroni and cheese. Now, I don't know how you use macaroni and cheese as a weapon. Maybe it's the cheese content. A Subway sandwich, a pizza dough, an Apple Watch, a stack of cash. Like, if you're gonna, come at me with a weapon, come at me with cash, bruh. Let me slap me with some hundies, some grits, and an Easter Bible. That last one gives new meaning to the term Bible Belt. All right, we got some stories now. Animal stories in Florida. The 3 stories of escaped kangies. My favorite headline was on the third one. Kangaroo in a diaper leads deputies on a hop pursuit in Florida. Now, whoever's writing this deserves a medal. Let me go ahead and say that again. Kangaroo in a diaper leads deputies on a hop pursuit in Florida. Invasive species ran amok more than once. In Key Largo, city workers discovered the cause of a sinkhole in the street was a nest of burrowing iguanas. One of the more unsettling headlines of the year. Firefighters removed boa constrictor that was threatening peacocks in Palmetto Bay. How dare you, Mr. Constrictor? These peacocks didn't do nothing to you, bruh. A Pine Island woman who confronted a feral hog rooting in her mango grove hurled a mango at its head and killed it. Now, let's just back up. I don't know how strong this woman is or how weak this stupid pig is or how hard this mango is. Now, I've touched a few mangoes in my life. I mean, not 100, not less than 2, okay? And I've never once thought I could kill a hog with this. All right, so she goes, I have the worst aim on the planet, so this was an inspired hit. Yeah, but you killed a hog with a fruit, bruh. I mean, we just going to gloss over the fact? Oh, you ain't got aim. But how strong are you? I mean, did you just, pop some TRT and throw this mango? Maybe you threw the mango tree at the hog. That'd make more sense. But I just don't see it. I don't see anybody, even like some sort of, thugged out testosterone 80-inch bicep, bruh, can knock out a pig with a fruit. But again, it's Florida. I don't know. Even political animals made weird news. Employees of the Republican Party office in West Palm Beach called in police and evacuated their office because they believed they'd found illegal bugging equipment. The cops found the devices were a different kind of bug. They were cricket noisemakers that sell for $12 on Amazon. We got another good one for you, and then I'm going to play some tunes. Well, by tunes, I mean one. You're listening to What in the World with Wilson. We got off to a rocky start, but we are blazing our way through this hour. No stinky art after this. But don't forget the other days here. It's independent radio, so support them. Support us. Support me. What in the World with Wilson? Another day doing it. The most unusual legislative gambit this year concerned a bill filed by Representative Jason Shoaff from Port St. Joe. He wants to loosen the rules protecting bears from slaughter. Shoaff said his bill wasn't aimed at regular bears, okay? They tend to be shy. He said, but he's talking about, quote, the ones that are on crack, unquote. When you run into one of these crack bears, you should be able to shoot it, period. And that's a quote. While no such crack bears have been reported in real life, the measure passed both the House and Senate by wide margins. So what passed? Don't get the regular bears, but you can shoot the crack bears. And that should be obvious, right? You should be able to know the difference. Some normally stodgy local and state government officials generated weird news. My favorite was the Indian River County School Board, which chose to ban from the school's library a book titled Ban This Book. The book contains no sex or foul language, but school officials complained that it challenged their authority. Running a close second was the State Department of Education, which issued a list of books recommended to bolster our American pride, yet somehow included Pride and Prejudice. Well, I hope that was as entertaining to you as it was to me. Now we're going to play a song. Sit back, relax. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Here's Wear Sunscreen. 95.9.
Ladies and gentlemen, wear sunscreen. But trust me on the sunscreen.
Oh, well, I hope we learned something. Wear Sunscreen by Mau Kalau here on 95.9 RadioFreeFargo.org. What in the world with Wilson? I'm your boy Wilson. This has been a bumpy hour, but we're here and we're doing it. And I'll be back next Thursday, 4 o'clock, for another rabble-rousing hour where I dig into the craziest stories and then I present them to you. Shout out, though, to our community partners at Fix It Forward Auto Care. With 4 Fargo, Moorhead, and West Fargo locations, they handle anything from routine maintenance to complex vehicle repairs. Fix It Forward focuses on quality, integrity, and giving back to the community. For more information, you can find them on Facebook, Instagram, or at their website at fixitforwardautocare.com. Well, let's keep cruising, shall we? No Stinky Arts Music Mart. Let me just add that. And then, here we go. This is New York Post. I didn't feel safe while jogging alone at night, so now I dress like a man for runs. Okay. A woman has been dressing up as a man to run at night since Donald Trump's election win and says it makes her feel safer. Claire Wickiff, 44, was tired of restricting herself to running during the day, so she began to look for ways to feel safer at night. After seeing her husband enjoy his evening run, the pair decided that she should try dressing up as a man. Claire ordered a fake mustache, tattooed sleeves, a wig, and men's gym clothes, and tried it out. She quickly noticed the difference and says that when dressed up as a man, no one approaches her or catcalls her in the same way. Yeah, 'cause you're a dude now. And you probably look really funny. I mean, I see a picture of you. Okay. Claire makes light of the situation in videos she posts online, but she says it's the first time I felt comfortable running outside alone at night. Now, I'm sure it could be safer. You know, I mean, it sounds almost genius, to be honest with you. It sounds kind of smart. Claire, a comedy writer based in Virginia, she said this experiment has revolutionized my ability to go running at night. I like to make comedic videos about the whole thing to lighten the mood, but this is really born from quite a scary thing. She's been running for years, but she says she's never felt really safe running alone at night, and I get it. I have been a runner for nearly 20 years. I've taken part in marathons, blah, 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 blah. She just got sick of hearing her husband say how much fun it is to run at night. So we thought up this idea, ordered some facial hair, and got some tattoo sleeves. Of course, I'm not exactly sure if people are believing I'm a real man, but it doesn't really matter because the end result remains the same. She says, I immediately noticed that not a single person came near me, and I wasn't worried about men yelling at me from their porches. Which really, what's the big deal? Whoop, whoop. I mean, it's like, go, girl. I mean, what, you don't derive any motivation from porch hollers? I honestly felt like a superhero, or like Mario, which kind of looks like Mario if you look at a picture. Claire feels that Trump's victory was a significant step back for women's safety, and being out alone at night is something most women are avoiding at all costs. When Trump won, and the phrase your body, whatever. Okay, I'm aware of women creating running groups so they can go out in larger numbers together later at night, but I wanted to take a step further. I thought if men have all the rights, why not try acting like a man? And it seemed to have worked. I don't know. This lady, Claire, plans to continue this endeavor with new costume pieces already on their way to her. She's got a goatee coming, and she's thinking about some chest hair pieces. And to be honest, I'd like to go running with her. Because people always catcall me, too. It's like I can barely... I don't even like going... It's the opposite for me. I have to go out at night because everybody can see how awesome I look during the daytime, and I just can't get anything done with all the attention from the ladies, even construction guys just catcalling me 24/7. So what I've done is I now dress up as a woman and run at night, and it seems to work. This is the New York Post. I get all of my food from dumpster diving, and I haven't gone grocery shopping in 4 years. Well, let's get into this, shall we? Meet the woman who has not done a supermarket shop in 4 years, gets all of her meals from the dumpster. Sophia started dumpster diving in October 2020 while living in Sydney. She started out by taking just fresh produce from designated bins, but soon realized she could get an entirely weekly shop. She only buys household items such as toilet rolls, soap, and whatnot. By sourcing her food from the dumpster, she saves thousands of pounds annually, has used that cash to travel the world. She's a restaurant manager from Denmark, so she's not like, what you would think, some fentanyled up homeless person. I haven't done a food shop in 4 years. I don't really have the need to go, as I find all of my food in the dumpster, which says a lot for our society. It's kind of sad. In 2024, she spent just $100 in the supermarket, just non-food items like toilet paper and soap. The money I have saved allows me the freedom to travel. I spent a lot of my money on traveling and visiting friends around the world. Sophie never struggled with being able to afford a food shop. She's a manager. She'd probably eat at the restaurant, but realized that dumpster diving would be more cost-effective way of grocery shopping. Which, I don't know. She went with a friend to scout some supermarket skips, which I'm not sure what a skip is, because I'm guessing it's not a movement you do with your body. Sophie said, I always knew about the concept of dumpster diving, and I was so curious about it. She'd never done it before, so I thought she'd check some dumpsters out. What she found was insane. It's filled with food. Some of it expired, and a lot of it hadn't. It started from there. It was like a treasure hunt. I quickly realized there was so much good food in the dumpsters, I didn't need to go shopping anymore. Sophie carried on dumpster diving. She moved back to Denmark and now only buys non-food items from the supermarket. That's crazy. She says, I don't have a schedule for dumpster diving. I either go a few times a week or every 2 weeks. I find so much my fridge is always full. Sophie said the savings she's made has given her freedom. She's been to Kenya, Argentina, Spain, Dubai. It allows me freedom. I travel a lot, spend my money. It really allows me to have so much freedom and the freedom to work less. She works only 3 days a week. She can do the more things that she loves. She says, they know the food is good and I would never serve my guests anything I would not eat myself. All of my friends and family know I dumpster dive. When they come over, they know that I get all my food. She will cook meals for people and now they go hunting together. Her parents are down. Grandparents love it. The food we eat on the holidays all dumpster dived. Sophie said her dumpster mission has evolved from a treasure hunt to everyday activism. She wants to create awareness about food waste, and I'd like to do that too, because we wasting way too much. Well, I'm about to wrap this bad boy up, my friends, and so I hope we all had a good one. Did we? Did we have a good one? All right, let's get you another one here. Food truck sold tacos with a side of meth. Okay, it's being referred to as one of the largest amounts of meth ever confiscated in a single bust in Colorado. This is out of Denver, Colorado. Shout out to my brother. Whoop, whoop. 17 people have been indicted for their involvement in a drug ring that is accused of selling and distributing methamphetamine. And one of them is accused of selling meth out of a taco truck. The brazenness of this ring was astounding. For example, customers could literally walk up to a food truck, order a side of meth with the burrito. Which is ironic because you ain't going to be hungry, But anyway, Juan Carlos is accused of leading the Gonzalez drug trafficking organization. According to the indictment, importing meth and coke from Mexico into California for delivery in Colorado. So, in August, authorities say they seized 55 pounds of meth from Ruvel Caba's car, some of which was hidden in the floor of a red Mini Cooper. When Gonzalez received the drugs, he would distribute them to his aunts, as well as others in the ring. And so Maria, she's accused of selling meth out of her taco trailer in the area of 8th Avenue and Federal Boulevard. Okay, so here we go. The taco truck transaction involved code words. It would have to. You know, give me 2 chimichangas, that's a half gram of glass. In this case, we heard it coded language like 6-pack and yellow cups to set up their transactions. And which is wild. I have no idea what that means. You know? I got no clue. But it must mean something. It must mean something. Well, there you have it. There you have it, folks. Like I said, I think the highlight of today was the Nigerian vigilantes claim they caught a criminal who transformed into a goat, and the police actually have it in custody. I'm your boy, Wilson. I've been here all hour. What in the world with Wilson? We'll be back next Thursday. I'm going to jump out of here. So I hope you guys are all good. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Make sure you check out Radio Free Fargo on other days. And I am going to leave you with a little... See, normally I start the show with the presidency of the United States of America, but we're going to end the show with Puffy Little Shoes, the presidents of the United States of America. Peace.